If you're listening to my voice right now, then maybe you've loved before, or maybe you think you have. My name is Patrick, and this is the story of how I loved one woman so much that I lost myself, and how it nearly cost me everything. But before Amy, before university, before Valentine's Day roses and late-night phone calls, there was a little boy who believed love was the most powerful thing in the world. That little boy was me. I was born on a rainy Thursday in a small town where everybody knew your name before you even knew how to spell it. My mother said when I was born, I didn't cry immediately. I just stared around the room like I was trying to understand why I had arrived. My father laughed whenever he told that story. Patrick came into this world already thinking too much, he would say. My childhood was simple. We didn't have much money, but we had peace. My father was a secondary school teacher. My mother sold provisions in a small shop beside our house. Our home wasn't big, but it was loud, with laughter, with arguments about whose turn it was to wash plates, with my mother singing old hymns in the kitchen. Growing up, I believed my parents had the perfect love story. Every Valentine's Day, my father would wake up before my mother and cook breakfast. Burnt toast most times, over-salted eggs, but he would arrange everything neatly on a tray like he was serving a queen. Then he would write her a small note. I remember one Valentine's Day clearly. I was 8 years old. I woke up early and saw my father struggling to cut a heart shape out of cardboard. "Daddy, what are you doing?" I whispered. He jumped like I had caught him stealing. "Secret mission for your mother." I watched him draw shaky letters with a red marker. "To my first love and last love, thank you for choosing me again every day." I didn't understand what that meant at the time. Choosing someone every day? I thought love was automatic, like breathing. I was wrong. As a child, I was shy, the quiet boy in class, the one teachers liked because I never caused trouble. But inside me, there was a storm of imagination. I believed in fairy tales, in forever, in the kind of love where a man would cross oceans for a woman. My mother used to tell me ancient love stories before bed. She told me about Romeo and Juliet. I cried when they died. She told me about a warrior in our tribe who waited 10 years for the woman he loved to return from captivity. 10 years. True love waits, my mother would say softly. And those words planted something dangerous inside my heart.
This is Beyond Stories, where every story carries a lesson, and every lesson touches the heart. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that could inspire your next step. Now, let's go deeper into the story.
Because I grew up thinking love must always involve sacrifice, pain, endurance. I thought suffering for love was proof that it was real. Secondary school was where my heart first misbehaved. There was a girl named Anita. She had braids that always smelled like coconut oil. I liked her. I never told her. Instead, I helped her with mathematics assignments and carried her books like a loyal assistant. One day, I gathered courage and bought her a cheap plastic ring from a roadside vendor. It was close to Valentine's Day. My hands were shaking when I gave it to her. She laughed. Not the good kind of laugh. "Patrick, you're like my brother," she said. Brother. That word stabbed deeper than any insult. I went home that day and told my mother I had stomach pain. She gave me herbs, but it wasn't my stomach that hurt. It was my pride. My father noticed I was quiet at dinner. "Who broke your heart?" he asked casually. I was filled with great shock. "How did you know?" He smiled. Every man's first heartbreak looks the same. I expected him to mock me. Instead, he said something that I didn't fully understand until years later. "Patrick, Don't give your whole heart to someone who doesn't know its value. I nodded, but inside, I disagreed. I believed one day someone would see my value, and when she did, I would give her everything. Everything. Fast forward to my final year in secondary school. I had grown taller, leaner, slightly more confident. Girls now noticed me, not because I was the most handsome, but because I listened. I remembered birthdays. I gave advice. I was safe. Too safe. I got admission to the university at 19 years old, the first person to do so in my extended family. My parents cried the day I left home. My mother held my face and said, "Remember who you are." My father hugged me tightly and whispered, "Don't lose yourself trying to impress the world." I laughed then. I didn't know how prophetic those words would become. University was another planet. Freedom tasted sweet. No curfew, no one asking where I was going, new faces, new dreams, new temptations. I promised myself one thing before resumption. I would not fall in love. I would focus on my studies, graduate with first class, make my parents proud, build a life. But life doesn't care about your promises. It only takes one moment, one encounter, one pair of eyes. It was my second week on campus. The sun was hot that afternoon. I was in the faculty building trying to figure out my timetable when I heard laughter. Not normal laughter, the kind that pulls your head around before you even decide to look. And that's when I saw her. Amy. She was standing with two friends, arguing about something trivial. Her hair was braided differently from most girls, simple but elegant. She wore a yellow top that seemed to glow under the sun. But it wasn't her beauty that caught me. It was the way she listened before she spoke. There was intelligence in her eyes, confidence, and something else, something I couldn't explain. I stared too long. She noticed. Our eyes met. For 2 seconds, maybe 3. She didn't smile. She just held my gaze, and something inside my chest shifted. I quickly looked away, pretending to read the timetable upside down. Idiot. "Excuse me," a soft voice said behind me. I turned. It was her. "Do you know where Lecture Hall B is?" My brain stopped functioning. "B? Yes, no, I'm also looking for it." Smooth, Patrick, very smooth. She laughed, and that laugh, God help me, that laugh felt like destiny knocking. We walked together, searching for the hall. We got lost. We asked 3 different people for directions. One sent us to the wrong building entirely. At some point, we both started laughing uncontrollably. "Are you always this confused?" she teased. "Only when I meet strangers in yellow tops," I replied. She raised an eyebrow. "So I'm the cause?" "Possibly." She extended her hand. "I'm Amy." That handshake lasted longer than necessary. Patrick. And just like that, my promise not to fall in love began to crumble. Over the next few weeks, we kept running into each other. Library, cafeteria, faculty corridor. At first, I thought it was coincidence. Later, I started suspecting destiny. We began studying together. She was smart, brilliant, actually. She challenged my opinions, corrected my grammar once. No one had ever done that so boldly. One evening, close to Valentine's Day, we were sitting under a tree discussing an assignment. She looked at couples passing by with red balloons and teddy bears. "Valentine's Day is overrated," she said. I swallowed. Why? Because people pretend for one day, buy gifts, post pictures, but real love is everyday consistency. Those words sounded familiar. Choosing someone every day, like my father's note to my mother. I looked at Amy differently in that moment. Maybe she wasn't just beautiful. Maybe she was the one. Dangerous thought. By mid-semester, we were inseparable. People started asking if we were dating. "We're just friends," she would say quickly. Just friends. That phrase again. But this time, I was patient. I would not rush. I would prove myself worthy. I started doing small things, buying snacks when she was stressed, walking her to her hostel at night, skipping my football practice to help her prepare for tests. Sacrifices. Tiny ones at first. They felt noble, romantic. I remembered ancient stories of men who fought wars for women. Surely missing football practice was nothing. But sacrifice has a strange habit. It grows, and it demands more. One night, close to Valentine's Day, she called me crying. Her voice was shaking. "I feel overwhelmed. Everything is too much." Without thinking, I left my hostel at 11 p.m. and walked across campus to hers. Security almost stopped me. I didn't care.
When she saw me, she hugged me tightly. That was the first time she held me like that. And in that embrace, I made a silent vow. I will never let you feel alone again. I didn't realize then that in trying to save her from loneliness, I was walking straight into mine. Valentine's Day arrived. Campus was painted red. I had saved money for weeks, skipped meals, did assignments for classmates for small cash. I bought her a modest gift, a handwritten letter, a small necklace, and her favorite chocolate. My hands trembled as I handed it to her. She looked surprised. "Patrick, you didn't have to." I wanted to. She read the letter silently. I had poured my heart into it. I told her she was different, that she inspired me, that loving her, even as a friend, was an honor. She looked up at me with unreadable eyes. "Patrick." That pause, that dangerous pause. "I don't want to hurt you." The world slowed. "Hurt me?" She continued. "I value you so much, but I'm not ready for anything serious." Not ready. Two words that can dismantle a man's confidence. I forced a smile. "It's okay, we can take our time." She nodded and hugged me again. But that hug felt different, colder, and as couples celebrated around us, I felt something unfamiliar creeping into my chest. Fear. Fear that I was loving more than I was being loved. That night, I lay in my hostel bed staring at the ceiling. My father's voice echoed in my mind. "Don't give your whole heart to someone who doesn't know its value." "But she does value me," I argued internally. "She just needs time. True love waits, right? Romeo waited. The warrior waited 10 years. I can wait. I will prove myself. I will sacrifice more if I have to. Because love, real love, is worth it. Isn't it? What I didn't know was that someone else was already stepping into Amy's life. Someone confident, someone bold, someone who wasn't afraid to claim her publicly. And very soon, I would have to decide whether to fight or to lose myself completely. But that decision, that storm, it began the night I saw her laughing in someone else's arms. And that is where chapter 2 begins.